Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about carts. I utilize carts all the time for my productions. Small, large, whatever the size, I'm almost always bringing a cart. Only time I don't is if I just have to bring one camera to take photos and a couple lenses, I'll bring a backpack maybe or a Pelican case. But for the most part, I try to bring a cart all the time. These are all folding carts, so you could fold them away into smaller vehicles. I'm not going to show you the big custom ones that I make that are bulky, that you need a van for or a truck. These can be very small or large, and they kind of have a full range on the budget end. So you've got really inexpensive, somewhat inexpensive, easy to find used inexpensive, sometimes as cheap as 50 to 100 bucks. And then you have one, depending on your market, that you could find inexpensive. So I'm going to show you how these guys open up. One thing I do want to emphasize is this little guy here, which is a RocknRoller, packs a big punch. If you have two of these, it will do way more for you than one of these guys, and you could get two of these for the price of one of those. And I'll show you in a little bit how I load these carts up and what I use to make things very efficient and easy. I know that there are other folding carts on the market that cost $2,000-$3,000. These aren't it. This one does, but this has been around for such a long time. It has a good used market where you could get stuff inexpensive. So let's start with this little guy. I'm going to show you how these guys open up and how they compare to each other. So this is a RocknRoller. I'm going to open it up quickly. And that guy's done. It could be pushed in all the way or opened up. So I'm going to leave it opened up, park it right here. And then this is the next size up. So this is as compact as it gets. I'm going to go ahead and drop it down. And let's make sure these guys are opened up. There you go. Of course, I got to make it difficult on myself. Here, and then there we go. Now there's some modern versions of these, or different versions that are different brand names, but the concept is still the same. They slide together. You can make it as long as it can go or short, and any adjustment in between. So that's the long version. So I'm going to leave that opened up. Put that guy right here. And then we have an Olympia cart. These guys are really small, compact, and they have shelves on them. So they go like this, and they're open and ready to go. So I'll stick this guy over here. And then we have a dolly, moving dolly, regular dolly. But this one, the advantage of it is it lays flat like this and like that. So it becomes very similar to these guys, especially with that right there. So we're gonna put it in the same category as these, but you got to be careful with that. So that's a common mistake. Should have known better. It doesn't click in right here because gravity holds it down, but they do have some that click in to each their own. So we'll put that guy here, and technically it would go in like that. So last one is the Magliner. So that's a Magliner there, but it's just the frame, the base, the regular dolly. These are converted, and this is a Gemini Junior, and it is commonly used on sets. They've been around forever, but they're really easy to set up as well. So let's get that going. So I lay it flat, pull out the handles, bring them up, click them into place, lock them off. Make sure you lock them off nice and tight. Do the other side. And then this guy opens up here, and this goes like this, and it's ready to go, set up for all your shooting needs. Now, limitations of this cart can be price. It's a little bulkier than the other ones. The advantage, it has a nice top. So if you're doing video, you want to set up your cameras here, it's great. Other people may not have space for that. You have these carts. Now on these RocknRollers, you actually have the ability to add a shelf up to the top, to the middle. They have those available. All it is plywood. You add it to it and it's ready to go. So now I'm gonna go through kind of the way I like to load these up and what the advantages are of these guys. So I'm gonna cut, we're back. So here's two setups right here. One of the setups is the small, very inexpensive RocknRoller. The other setup is the more expensive Magliner with a shelf. Advantages to the shelf: you could unload stuff from the bottom without disturbing the stuff on top. This one, a lot of times you have to just break it all apart and make room as you go. Now, if you showed up with two of these, you would have way more than just this one cart. Now, that's an extra trip. So if you're doing something in an office building, corporate, headquarters, that's 2 trips. What I like to do is do like grip and electric, stands, shop bags, lights, things like that, modifiers in 1 trip, and then do camera and supporting gear for that, audio, whatever the else equipment there may be in the 2nd trip. 2 carts makes it easier to push, better chance of stuff not falling off. Also, you have the ability to not worry about getting into elevators with a really big cart. So everything's usually on the standard of 24 inches in width. So always think about that when you're putting stuff on the carts. Now, are these the only solution out on the market? No, they're not. But one thing that I've grown to like, and this is kind of an old system that's been around, is the milk crate system. So these are available on Amazon. You can get like 3 of them for $60 or so delivered. And what's really great about them is they are like Legos. They're like building blocks. Everything stacks so nicely, so stuff doesn't kind of get pushed around and weird in shape. So if you look over here, you see 4 nicely packed ones. I have 2 600Ds and then the ballasts here. So it's the size of 2 600Ds, which would normally take up the whole bottom of the cart. So I was able to consolidate them into crates and make it a lot easier. And I'll show you how much I could actually get on a cart with that system. But also be innovative, not innovative cart, just be innovative. Because even if you go with something like this cart here, which is very inexpensive and very compact, you could do a lot of things with it. So one of the cool tricks is clamps, which these are all over Amazon, your local hardware store, places like that, and use them to your advantage. So I'll use clamps to clip on to expand my carts or to control things. So with this one, I may want to put a C-stand on here, and I may be able to put a C-stand without it falling off. I also would like to put my tripod on there, slide it on, goes on there, and it's on there. Distribute your weight evenly. Don't overload one side because it will fall over, especially with how high this stuff is and there's nothing on the bottom of it. But you see we're still narrow and we could get into spaces. If I needed to add tube lights, I have room to add tube lights down below as needed and expand accordingly and add cases down below. Let's see if a crate fits. I don't even know. I've never tried it. But if you went to a crate system and you needed to stick a crate down there, will it fit? It doesn't fit. So crates won't be good for this system, but you can still get a lot of equipment. I've put my camera bag down there. I have a low pro one. It slides in just fine. You could put some shop bags down there if needed. Just know not to overload it because this has a very limited weight capacity. So please consider that and be safe and do not exceed the manufacturer's allotted limits. So you see there's also a C-stand there. You could put like 3 on it there. And then on the Magliner cart, stick this over here. On the Magliner cart, you could actually put some stands as well this way. So I tend to do them. I like to often put the legs on the side that I push from. It's backwards over there right now. And the reason is usually the handles stick out. So when I put this here like that, my handles are here and this is already going to be taking up space if I go into an elevator, but I'm not really sticking out too much here. If I do it the other way around, you end up sticking out a lot more, making your cart longer. Oop, see, I didn't lock that one too. So I just pulled this off the van. Either myself or someone didn't lock it off and it just shot out like that. So always make sure that things are tightened down, and I didn't, and that's what happens, and that could go through a window. So always have to be ready to do the check and make sure you got everything right. Okay, so it goes on right there, works out, or even like that. So get it on there however it goes. You could bungee it down as needed. So now I'm gonna show how I like to load up a cart. So these are just regular carts, but I'm going to show it on a Magliner just because we know how these things can get stacked up. So I'm going to push this guy out of the way. Ugh. And we'll bring in this cart here. So I'm going to load it down with the gear from both of these. Hopefully everything fits. We'll see. I haven't tried this yet, but let's give it a try and see what we can figure out. So main thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this other C-stand out of the way. And then I'm going to start with my base, which my base is going to be crates. I don't want to put cameras at the bottom and smush them. So we will go with crates. And for what it's looking like, we can do about 4 deep on these guys. Maybe. We'll see if that last one works. That is up right there, and then we get 4 on there. Perfect. Yep, they're moving. We get about 4 deep on this, which is great. Gonna make sure they're all centered up, not hanging off. And what do I have in these crates? This here is a 600D Pro packed away. It's just the head, the cables, and the clamp. And then I have about 2 ballasts per ballast crate. So 3 crates total gets you a whole kit. Then we have one more over here. Whoa! Be careful with your gear. There's that. This little light here. So we have one more slot left here, and I think I'm gonna go with this guy. I've done a setup like this before, and I know that this is about the width or size of one of these. So this is a 1510 Pelican. So we put all that in there. So next thing is, don't trip and die. I'm gonna put this guy here. This is my camera. And then I think I'm gonna go with this, which is technically a teleprompter, but just using it as a demonstration. It could be camera as well. Put it over here. We've got that. That's centered up. And then we have a couple little odds and ends. I think this is an MC kit. See how this wants to live. We could do something like that. This guy can come here, right there. This is very oddball. It's going to make things difficult. So, how do we want to approach this? Throw this in the dumpster. That's what I say. But you know what? I'm going to try to get it all on here because you know what? The client specifically requested this. I have to get it there. So I'm going to make them happy. We've got tripods, scrim gym kit. We've got our second tripod. And then what's left? Oh, tubes. That's an easy one. That can go up there. And of course, just can't go without this. My Robo Cup, hold my drinks. This is out of the way. And now we have 2 C-stands to deal with. So normally I'd lay them horizontally like this, attach them on, but you know what I'm gonna do this time? I'm gonna take advantage of the, don't do that. I'm gonna take advantage of this bag. Normally you'd wanna head on this, but I'm gonna take advantage of this bag and put them right here. So go right there and put the next one in here. And now we have 2 C-stands loaded up. We could probably put a couple more in there. That gets this guy out of the way. Now I probably would bungee this guy up, strap it down, make sure it's nice and safe so it's ready to go. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just get a bungee real quick, make it easy. All right, I'm back with the bungee. So where can I bungee to? I can actually bungee to a crate if needed. There we go. Smushed up nice and tight. I could even bungee these together so they don't go flying around. And now I'm fully loaded. I would also attach a bungee over here, ratchet strap, rope, whatever you're comfortable with. But now I'm ready to load in. Obviously, I could get more stands in there if needed. I have tripods, I have multiple cameras, I have all the gadgets and gizmos, and this can carry a lot more. Than this. Yes, this has a top shelf and you could go high with this, but then you start getting too high. The big problem is the distance between here and here may not work out perfectly for these things. And then also we were able to get 2.5 crates in this way. This one's longer, it's expandable. So that makes it work a little bit better. But everyone has a different scenario, needs a different thing. Now, if you don't want to load up this tall and this unsafe, you can always get 2 of these little guys. One of these. And one of these. And it will hold all this equipment. So you kind of have to make a decision. Like, do you want to pack big like this? Or do you want to have small? Or do you want to have a small one and a larger one? I kind of have a mix. What's really great about these is also, if I wanted to, I could bring this one with this one easily, and I could even attach this one to that, or offload a few things, make this easier. Like I said, one could be G&E, lighting, grip, sandbags. There's no sandbags on here, but obviously I could add a couple if needed, probably at the point of overloading it. But you could spread the load out and make 2 trips, make it easier. If you have help that day, you can make 1 trip, 2 carts, disperse the load, and it makes it nice and easy. And these are just so compact. It's really great. That's why I always keep an extra one on my van, because it's a no-brainer. I mean, there's no reason not to have it, just because of how little space it takes up. I mean, it's tiny. It can live wherever you put this cart. It could live underneath it. It's so small. So that pretty much wraps it up. If y'all have any questions, these are just the folding carts that I use. I have big carts that I roll into the van. They don't come apart, they don't fold down. But this is the world of the folding carts. Get what fits your needs and your price point. There's no wrong cart for the job. There's no right cart for the job. They're just carts you take on the job. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Let me know what cart setup you use. What's your go-to cart? How do you get your gear from your vehicle into your location, your shoot location? And why do you use that cart? And tell me about the pros and the cons of it. Let me know what your solution is. Everyone has a different solution. I've seen some really great ideas and some clever hacks that people have done. Comment below your input. If you have any questions about any of these guys, why I use them, what I use them for, just let me know. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the channel, the videos, and commenting down below. It really helps us a lot to get more content out. Thank you, and have a great holiday.